Let's do it. Don't worry, Marie. We can pull stupid faces. You can just look awesome.
No,
Yeah.
I can pull stupid faces too.
No, it's great. It's perfect.
Are we not going to do a warm up or something?
No, forget warm-ups. We're just going to play it by ear. And
Okay.
if
Okay.
you,
You can swing your shoulders around if you want to.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Unless you'd like to do a warm-up first, in which case we'll probably put all of this up. Yeah,
That's
because
good.
it's real. It's real.
I don't care. Do
Awesome.
whatever you want.
First of all, welcome to Time Zones and Time Meters. I am going to give thanks to Markus Nilsson for making this intro for us. Since, yeah, for our long-time listeners, they have noticed a new intro. And that's, yeah,
Yeah,
Markus
thank you,
Nilsson.
Marcus. We
That's for
appreciate
the
it.
ELP episode. But today we got a different guest. We have Marie, um,
I
the big VOLA expert in the gang.
I'm expert, I don't know, but fan definitely.
There's always a
Yeah.
mean title. How long have you been into VOLA, Marie?
Actually, I think I found them in 2021. And the funny thing is I found them via the Team Soen Facebook group. And you know, at the end of the year, people post their Spotify stats. And I looked
Yeah.
at all of those, and a lot of people had VOLA on their Spotify stats. And I thought, oh my God, there seems to be a huge overlap. I have to check that out. And that's how I ended up listening to VOLA. Because back then I wasn't on streaming platforms, so I was manually typing stuff into YouTube and seeing what the first things that came up were, I think, Whaler and what was the other one? I have to think. I think Straight Lines. So those two songs basically got me into the band. I was like, oh my God, what is this? And the weird thing is, apparently I've heard VOLA way before that when they were touring with Catatonia as a support band. But I have absolutely no memory of this for some reason. I don't know, because usually I remember support acts, but maybe they were ill at that day or no idea. Anyway, that's how I found them. And I'm glad I did.
Right. Yeah, and of course, how long have you listened to this band, Josh?
The first time I heard them was in 2023. Although I didn't really start listening to them until 2024. So I'd heard of them in 2023. I think Witness was already out by that stage, and I think I heard Straight Lines as well. I think that was where it sort of began. That was the first track, and I sort of saved it on a Spotify, likes thing, and then after that ended up going back to it a little bit. But it wasn't until more recently that I started really listening to them properly and their entire discography as well.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, indeed, this band has been. It's clearly the youngest band that we did a. Are we doing a ranking here? Because they, of course, have four
Yeah.
albums. Yeah. Because I mean, it is the youngest band by far of the albums that we, or of the artists that we do this of. That said, I mean, they formed in Copenhagen in 2006 by the vocalist Asger Migind, because he's Danish, I believe.
Yes.
And you always have to speak a little bit louder and a bit more drunk when you're speaking Danish. I say that as a Swede, we
Yeah.
always have this banter between us. And we're more of but there's Swedes in the band as well, I believe.
Yeah, the drummer is Swedish.
Right, yeah. So, they made an EP in 2008. I don't know if you guys have listened to that. I thought we do not take that as part of the official.
They actually made two EPs before they, but we're only talking about albums, so.
Right.
Although
Yeah.
maybe we'll chat about that at the end. Maybe Marie can give us a bit of an understanding. What were the names of the two EPs?
The first one was, I think, Homesick Machinery.
Yeah.
And the other one was Monsters.
Yeah, I've heard Monsters, but I haven't heard the other one. So maybe we can
Yeah.
discuss that afterwards too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I heard one of them. I don't know which one. And then, well, in 2008, then the first proper long play released. No, sorry, in 2016. Yeah, that's when Inmazes released, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
This one's
well,
a bit of I was
yeah,
going to say this one's a bit of a favorite, isn't it? Like as far as like many prog metal guys and gals out there, I think they love Inmazes. So I'll be really interested to hear what Marie has to say about this one. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Marie,
Um,
shoot the floor.
when I found them, when I found the band, it was with the Witness album, and then I went back to their previous discography, and to be honest, it took me quite a while to get into Inmazes because it's very different to what I initially heard of them. But it's one of those albums that just grows on you, and those are the albums that in the long run stay with you and mean most to you. At least that's the case for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how about you.
I think one of the reasons that I didn't end up exploring these guys as much as when I first found them was because of this album. So
Yeah.
when I first heard it through, there was just parts of it that didn't quite gel with me, especially early on. And so I kind of just put on the back burner and thought, I'll play this later, I'll play this later, I'll play this later, and then didn't get there for a while. So it's not until very recently that I've sort of thrown myself into this album. I was pretty familiar with two of the others, but this one specifically, yeah, I was put off by it a little bit. I think I don't know if it was I don't know if you feel the same way too, Marie, but Inmazes to me has like it's quite genty, for use of a better term, like something that's got some pretty sort of heavy sort of guitar work in it, and for me, I don't know, like I think what they do really, really beautifully, like VOLA I think they're a class act. I think they're really good. I like this album, but I think that the gent stuff in this first album, I don't think is quite as refined as some of the later stuff. And so for me, I found that because there's no like riff that I really, really enjoy like throughout that part of it, I sort of think that detracts a little bit from some of the really amazing songs that they have on it, because I love the choruses. I think every track I have something in it that I just go, oh, that's so catchy, that's so good. They're sort of got some great layering as well. But I think just the gentle parts, especially a lot of the introductions to the songs, like I'd need to wait like 45 seconds to a minute into the track before I go, there it is, that's why I love this, And so for me, there's a bit of that in there, but for what it's worth, once I started putting this on rotation and playing it through, it got better and better and better. And I think this album had the most growth for me as I was listening to it over time. And so I think it was a little bit more of a slow burn compared to the other stuff, because they're like instant hooky, memorable music, otherwise. So what are your thoughts on this one itself, Marie?
Well, I initially thought the same as you do, but I think it also depends on what kind of background you have before you listen to this. If you come from like a Meshuggah background, you find this a lot easier to do because it's so gnarly and filthy, and and I really love the contrast between the let's say the dirty bits and then the sparkly choruses come out of it. And I really love this contrasting thing happening in music generally. So
I mean, it's my favorite thing. It's my favorite thing, and it's what makes this band really special. Continue. Sorry, I was disagreeing.
So I know. And what you can really hear when listening to this is how much, I don't know if this is even correct, but I think they had a lot more artistic freedom to do this because, they were like a small band and not very well known back then. So, I mean, starting an album with something like The Same War as an album opener, and it's got this, I can't even call it a riff. It's like guitar noise at the beginning, and you're like, what the fuck is this, you know?
Yeah.
And they put this at the beginning of the album.
Mm.
It takes a lot of guts for me to do this, because it's obvious that it might put people off, especially if they're more of the impatient sort.
Yeah.
And they go, oh no, this band isn't for me because I've heard 30 seconds of their music, so I can say that this is not for me. You must never do this with VOLA, because that's not how they operate, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
So,
no,
yeah.
continue. What were you going to say?
No worries. So they have this surprise factor on this album, especially with songs like The Same War or Inmazes, where it starts off like something and then it finishes off completely different. And, you know, but they manage to fuse all these parts together so well. So it's an evolution in the songs that I really like.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you heard this one,
I'd say,
Simon?
yeah, yeah. Well, I've heard everything, and I think the first time I heard Vola was also maybe 2 years ago or something like that. That a lot of people posted about them on Reddit, on the prog metal subreddit, and so I had them, you know, some tracks that got recommended to me, and most of those tracks were ballads. So to me, and there was a couple of tracks from here. I don't know exactly if it's Emily or God or Moon, one of those
Yeah,
two.
Emily is on Inmazes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, and that's kind of a ballad as well, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, and I had several. Maybe it was like Green Screen Mother is from another, but at least it was like the tracks that got recommended to me from Vola were the ballads, so I basically knew them as a more softer band.
Okay.
But and I mean that's not really representative of them. However, I have to say, like I especially like the softer stuff that they do. Um,
Okay.
and then I also given this full album a rundown this like 2 weeks ago. Um I think this is like in the middle of the pack for me of what I've heard of them, and obviously my opinion here is not that valuable because you know
It's always
I've
fun.
heard it not a lot of stuff. Well, so I mean I put it. I think I put this as on my third spot at the moment. You know, ask me over a couple of months when I heard more of it. Probably it might change, but you know it is a little bit like, to me, this is a little bit too genty. So that's kind of the reason why I haven't listened more to it than I've had, I would say. Uh,
For me,
so
I'm
it's
a
not completely like, it's not like I dislike it. It's just not completely my ballpark. Like, you know, I'm
yeah,
not as often in the mood for the genty stuff
yeah,
um, as for a lot of other stuff. Absolutely a competent band, and I absolutely also hear what you say, Marie, about the that Mew is one of their big influences. I think
Yeah.
you can hear it maybe more so on the later albums, but yeah, yeah, obviously some good tracks on there.
I think the funny thing is that soft like vocals and genty guitars is my thing. Like I love it, and so it's really interesting that I would put this album as my least enjoyed out of all of them, and so I would put this.
Because it's so jarring, or
No, I think they get better and better at the gent. That's
okay.
my thoughts. I just think they get better at it. I think it's the the sounds are more memorable. There's more of sort of a nearly like a tune behind what's going on. This one's a little bit too obscure, I guess, at the beginning. I don't obscure is the wrong word, but maybe I don't know, it's not as focused. And like you said, it can be a little bit jarring as well. And so for me, I absolutely love the contrast that this band have. And I just think that they actually get better at that contrast and they get better at the darker stuff. But I guess we'll talk about that a little bit later with the other albums anyway. So it's interesting. But I'd put, look, funnily enough, I have a funny feeling in 2 years from now, I'll completely disagree with this opinion, and I'll probably put Inmazes at the top end because I think it's more diverse. I think it's probably got more longevity and more legs than what some of the other stuff was. But if I'm just talking about my raw enjoyment at the moment, I would put this in at fourth. What would you put it in as, Marie?
First, I would like to ask you, what are your favorite songs on this album, if you have any?
We get her to play host, Simon. I think, well, let's have a look. I've played Starburn a lot. I think Inmazes is probably the strongest. Oh, I like the opening track as well a lot, actually. What's the opening track's name?
The Same War, the one with
Yeah,
the
that's
jarring
right.
intro.
I quite
Yeah.
like The Same War. I love the chorus in it. I love all of the VOLA-ness in it, actually. But yeah, so I don't know. I'd say probably The Same War. I'd say Inmazes and maybe Starburn, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Well, first off, I would like to say that rating VOLA albums was really difficult for me
Yeah, it is hard.
because, as a diehard fan, rating something that you love is
The
weird.
more into it you are, the more difficult
Yeah,
is it to do it because
yeah,
you want
yeah,
to, yeah, and
yeah,
I mean it's like rating your kids, right?
yeah,
After a
yeah,
while, it's yeah.
yeah. So I don't know really, but I mean, lyrically, so I had to come up with a system by which to rate the albums because
I know
from
another one who does that.
emotionally I can't rate them, so I had to put some kind of system in place. And so I thought, okay, what are the lyrics like, and what topics are there, and how complex is it, and all of this stuff. So I mean, my favorite songs on there are also Starburn, because it was the first song on this album I actually got into, because I found it more accessible at the beginning than the others. And then, of course, Inmazes. But there's a weird story to Inmazes. And the only reason I am brave enough to tell you this is because I know other people had the same problem or issue. When I first listened to the album, I always skipped Inmazes because of the beginning of the song. And I was really impatient and I thought, yeah, what is this? Skip. And then I read somewhere online that a lot of people ranked it as their favorite songs. And I'm like, why? So I had to go back and sit down and listen to the whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, why have I skipped this? It's so brilliant. So, of course, Inmazes is one of my favorite songs ever of them. And then I think the third favorite track, if I can even rank them in any way, is Your Mind is a Helpless Dreamer, because it's such a banger and there's so many things happening, and it's the synth breakdown and the heavy parts and the dreamy parts, and it's great. So those would be, if I had to choose three, those would be my three songs, actually.
Yeah, they're good choices for sure. So what are you going to give it? What place?
I'm going to put it at number 2.
Okay, yep.
I really struggled with this, but it's going to be number 2.
Okay, done.
Second place. No, you
Well,
haven't
then
asked Simon about his ranking.
Do you have a
Oh
ranking?
yeah, no, this is my number 3. This is my number 3.
Okay.
For what it's worth.
So all different spots.
Yeah. And then we fast forward in time to 2018.
Yep.
This is the album that I actually had listened to in its entirety before we decided on doing this podcast. That said, I've not had a bunch of listens to it. It is my favorite. Applause from a distant crowd, because it has lots of those softer melodic stuff, and I think that the genty stuff is done with more class than Inmazes. So it's like it speaks to me more, for what it's worth. That's my opinion on this one. Marie, I'll let go. I'll let the ladies and the guests go before the wanderers.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I wasn't around as a fan at the time it was released, so I think it could have been difficult for a fan of the early album, and then coming into this one, it's like 180-degree to Inmazes, like totally a different vibe to the album, while at the same time
am I completely out there with that there's more melodic, softer stuff on here? Because
yeah. It's very lightweight and very there's a lot of pop
hooky.
music in there.
It's really,
and it's
hooky,
a bit dreamy at times, you know.
Dreamy, and sort of airy, and you know.
I
and
really
to me,
enjoy that stuff.
Yeah. So this album to me is always a bit like a summer album. It sounds like summer to me. So I don't want to listen to it when it's.
Could also be because of that album cover. You feel like swimming in a swimming pool.
I don't know, no, but I think they chose the album cover to go with the vibe of the album. At least I don't know why they chose it, but I think it really suits the music that's inside.
Like Summer Hits 2024. It could also be suited for that.
Ghosts, maybe. Yeah, Ghosts is like, I always think when I listen to Ghosts, it's like this could be on the radio, you know.
Yeah, I meant more the album cover. You know, one of those like compilation of summer hits. You know, it could have been.
Yeah, maybe. But you know, it's such a U-turn from Inmazes, but it still sounds like VOLA for some reason. So how did they do that? I don't know. But
I mean, that said, I also looked up what EP did I listen to. It was the Machinery. What is it called?
Homesick Machinery.
Right. And I mean, that is also, I think, a U-turn from the first album. Because I mean, that thing is not genty at all, which is of course logical because it's like.
No, I think Homesick Machinery was their first. I think wasn't Homesick Machinery their first EP?
Yeah, it is from 2006. So basically, Meshuggah were the only ones that doing any gent stuff at that time. So it's logical that it was not so genty. But I mean, since they are so genty, it's of course a pretty stark contrast to anything that it's any of the long plays. Sorry, I digress.
No worries. There's one song on the album that for some reason doesn't really fit the album for me, and that's Smart Friend, because to me it sounds more like it could have been on Inmazes, but you know, that's just me. But the other songs are great. I mean, Ruby Pool is exactly this kind of summer feeling that I get. It's like I don't know. What are your three? What are your three songs, Josh?
I was going to say that this, to me, they took this album, and what they've done is they've really. Oh, am I muted? No. Yes. No.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, it's just Simon's muted, I think.
Yeah, no, sorry.
That's all right.
I said she's like one of you, one of the metal elitists when you wear a band T-shirt that goes, "Name your 3 songs." I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to prove that we actually listen to it. This is how she's called. This is how she's.
Have you done your homework?
That's
have
right.
You done your homework?
Look, I think when it comes to Applause of a Distant Crowd, I think this album, they've obviously made a very deliberate choice to go hard at what they, I think, do really well. And so for me, they've ramped up the hooks, they've ramped up the playful, like, synth layering that goes on. They've completely, like, really pushed the sort of poppy part of this band, which I absolutely love. I think it's a strong album. And I would say that Let me have a look. I'll just double check. Yeah, I think it starts so well. I think We Are Thin Air is a home run. I think it's maybe one of my favorite songs that they've ever done. I think it's wonderful. I think Ghosts is great. Like you said, I think Smart Friend doesn't have as much of a place here. It's definitely a little heavier, a little off to me in terms of the like where they put it on the album as well. Maybe Ruby Paul is great as a palate cleanser at the end of that. I loved it. Alien Shivers is super strong. It's a great song too. I think Applause is good. Wailer's great. I think it's a great song as well. The only song that I really don't like on this is Green Screen Mother. And I think Green Screen Mother, it's not that it's bad, it's just the rhyming gets me. I think there's just a little bit too many rhymes with mother, brother, other, and it's just a bit too much for me. I get it. It's not bad by any means, but I think that's the one that just gets to me a little bit, and that's where I'll skip it. So I don't know, like this to me is VOLA at their like absolute best. I love it. I think this album is fantastic. And with the exception of Smart Friend and Green Screen Mother, I think the whole album is really, really good and strong. I wonder about the longevity of some of the songs, like Ruby Pools, for example, or even to a degree, Alien Shivers a little bit. But I really enjoy them for what they are, and I think they're perfectly placed within the album itself. So for me, like this is my favorite album by them, and so I'd put this in #1 spot. They just go hard at the stuff that I love. Oh, you're in agreement? Okay, so we got a fist bump. Simon and I very seldomly agree on #1s, Marie.
It has to happen sometimes. Yeah.
It has to happen sometimes. Does anyone want to mention anything else about?
I have a little, I don't know if we call it story,
Yeah.
but a little image in my head whenever I listen to Whaler. I think it's a bit of an untypical song for them because it's got this straightforward chugging going on. And there are hardly any synths on this, only a little bit in the background of the chorus. But whenever I listen to this song, I have this picture in my head of like a lost ship on a stormy sea with purple, gray clouds. And it's really a very dire situation. And whenever the chorus hits, there's little rays of sunlight coming in. And when the chorus ends, the sun goes away again. And when the breakdown, or let's call it breakdown, I think it's the correct word. When that comes in, it's like they're almost done. It's so bad. And then at the end of the song, there's this change in atmosphere where it all gets light and bright, and it's like the sun lifts and everybody's safe. And it's I don't know why, but I always have this image of a stormy sea in my head when I listen to this.
It's a very evocative sound, and I think I know exactly what you mean by that sort of chugging guitar, and it's got this like menace about it as well. And so I think this is them doing, all of the stuff in the first album where they had that sort of genty kind of guitars and stuff. I just think this is so much better. I think it plays with that heaviness. I think it just does it better than what they did in the previous album. So, and this is my jam. Like I love this stuff. So, like that's the cool thing about it. So I
still haven't got a clue what Whaler is actually about lyrically because it's so vague,
Yeah.
Which they do a lot. They do that a lot in the lyrics, that they keep things really vague. I mean, sometimes it's very obvious that it's about a breakdown of a relationship or something like that. But you can always put your own images into the songs, and they're not very strict in the direction you
take.
They're not getting you. They're not saying, okay, this is what this song is about, and this is the only thing this song is about. You can put all sorts of meaning in there.
Yeah,
that's what I also like a lot.
Cool. Where do you put this?
Applause is on #3 for me. No,
Number three.
it's number three. Not because it's bad, as you know, but because it's, for me, it's, I can't always listen to it because it's so summary.
Right. Yep.
For some reason.
All right.
Except for VOLA, obviously, because it's so
And probably
dark somehow.
probably Smart Friend as well, because that's pretty dark too.
Smart Friend, I honestly, I know this is going to put a lot of people off, but it's one of the songs I actually skip.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Because I don't like this monotonous talking almost, you know, this monotonous singing style that it's not for me. I don't like it. I mean, the chorus is great and live it hits really
hard,
really well, but yeah,
okay.
You know.
No, that's good. So I've got it at 1, Simon's got it at 1, and you've got it at 3. Okay.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to say is it's so weird, but somebody said about this album, it's happy-core.
Happy-core's good. Yeah.
Happy-core.
I'll give it happy-core.
Happy-core.
Yeah. Let's go. We'll plaster that at the time. As the time.
I would say it's a bit too mellow for that, but yeah. All right. Then they took 3 years until they released the next one. So we have Witness in 2021. I barely heard this. Yeah, I have not listened too much to this, and now when I went through that, I kind of felt I was not blown away at all. Maybe I need more listens, but I like the gent did not. Okay, I see that Marie has a different opinion on this. I mean, look, the genty stuff was just not at all up my alley with this album. I think it's These Black Claws that has like a rap thing in it, and it was like I was not at all in the mood for that. Maybe on a different day, I don't know, but you know, totally. I don't know if it felt out of place or if it just, you know, I've not at all listened to rap lately, so maybe that's also it. Also, I think like there's a very few occasions that I think that two genres melt. So you know,
we're gonna have to talk about Sleep Token as well eventually, aren't we?
Well, you know, I've also barely heard Sleep Token. I cannot, you know, I have like no active memories of Sleep Token, so I guess I have to you know, look that up first.
We'll put that on the on one of those controversial episodes.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, this is my least favorite of what I've heard so far. Please rebuke me.
Marie. Take it away, Marie. Let's go. What are your thoughts?
Why am I wrong? Why am I wrong?
You know, it's music is such a subjective thing that I can't say anything about why you're wrong or right or whatever. You know.
Don't pull punches. Just tell him he has no ear. Easy.
Okay, he has no ear. He doesn't know what's good. So to me, this song, this album is just full of bangers. It's, you know, I put it on and it's just goes. It's so great. I don't know. Maybe it's because that's the album I found them with, or I don't know. But
you know, I always say there's a reason why. Because that's a lot of times it is the album you find a band with that stays your favorite. But then I would also say, well, that's the reason why you became a fan of the band, right? Sometimes you find something in the discography that surpasses it, but usually you get hooked on the band for a reason, right? So yeah. What's the chicken? What's the egg?
You know, I didn't know if I should put Inmazes or Witness on number 1, but Witness actually is my number 1 record from them. But
what's your favorite songs on it?
Oh, man, every
These
song.
Black Claws?
I don't. It's amongst others. It's on my favorite songs. Yeah, but I don't know, Simon. You have to go and see VOLA live, and you will change your mind about all these songs on Witness. Really.
I mean, that can be. Then you're in the right wavelength usually for something when you see it live, you know.
Yeah. what are my favorite songs? I don't know. This album ticks all my boxes. You know, it's got the heavy parts and the amazing choruses, and the songwriting as in general is so great. I can't really tell you. I mean, Straight Lines was my introduction to VOLA, so it's an extremely strong album opener. I mean, the chorus is just out of this world, really, as with many VOLA songs. Just a few words about, for instance, the song 24 Light Years. That was initially built around the drum groove. So the drum groove was the first thing on this song, and then everything else got built around it. Also lyrically, it's very interesting. And for me, the most relatable song on there is Freak. I don't know if you listen to this. It's, you know, I can picture a family member in my head when I listen to this. So like, yeah, exactly. So what are my favorite songs? If I had to pick three, I would say, God damn.
You can't do this to me.
Side.
You can't do this to me and then not do it yourself.
You have to own up to it.
That's right.
It's, yeah, that's correct. Okay, so let's just randomly pick three. I would say Straight Lines, Head Mounted Sideways, and Napalm.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're good choices. They're great choices.
Just random songs, really.
I think
I'm very curious to where you stand on this now, Joe.
So I've spoken about this album to a friend of mine a fair bit, actually, because he can't get over the production. So I think that the production in this is a bit crisper and it's a bit more modern. And I think the soundscape generally, they're starting to push both their sort of more aggressive, darker sounds, also the synth layers, and also the choruses sort of in equal measure. It's nearly like I feel like they've deliberately gone like Applause is bright, Applause is like synth driven and it's got this poppy nature to it. And they're like, but we don't want to lose what we love so much. So I think they've kind of doubled down a little bit back on, you know, that sort of heavier sound. And the interesting thing about it is I think when it comes to it definitely to me sounds a bit more modern than the other two. Like I definitely think this is a lot more modern, and so the discussion I had with my friend was just in regards to that sound, and for him he doesn't like the modern sound of, you know, bands like Sleep Tokens. You know, he hasn't really got a set opinion, but he hates nu metal, and he says that this starts to feel a little bit like it starts to go a little bit down that end, the more recent the stuff goes. And for me, I don't know, I quite like it. I love the sound. I think it's crisper. I think the production's pretty good, actually. But look, I think it's a banger of an album as well. I think it's a banger of an album. I really enjoyed it. I think they do what they do like better than what they did in Inmazes, and so I think this is a better album than that at the moment. My favorite song's Inside Your Fur, hands down. I just think that is one of the best closers. Like, I just think it is such a sensational. It's got this like anthemic kind of feel to it as well. It's got like some positivity at the end of it, and it's funny that it's stuck at the bottom of the album. I think it could have been a great opener, as much as Straight Lines is a good song as well. But I really enjoy Inside Your Fur. I think Napalm's really good too. I think you're right. 24 Light Years was the song that always gets stuck in my head. So I think it's incredibly memorable. Head Mounted Sideways is good too. These Black Claws, I get why you don't like it, Simon, if they're like in terms of the rapping, but it didn't turn me off too much. Is it Shaman? Is that his name? Whoever it is. I have no idea who that is, but in saying it, like, I'm okay with it. It's fine. I think if anything, it's a little bit more experimental, and I applaud them for that.
I'm not per se against putting rap on it. It's just that it's not like, for example, with Einar solo album, you know, from
Oh yeah,
Lepers.
yeah.
He also had a guest rapper on one of the tracks. I thought that was fine. I know this didn't just, you
Just
know,
didn't do it for
speak to me
you.
at this moment.
Yeah.
No.
But and I think the other thing that this is where I think that they totally got their formula right. So I think this is where VOLA have gone, okay, the album construction's really good. So I think in terms of like how it starts, you know, with straight lines straight into it, head mounted sideways, and then you end up with this kind of 24 light years ends up having this sort of some softer parts in it as well, I think. And then to then go to these black claws kind of shakes it up. And then, you know, once you get to Freak, you've got that like letdown as well. And they did it in the last one with Ruby Pools and yeah, specifically Ruby Pools. And I think with this one, they seem to have found like that we're going to chunk this, then we're going to have a break in the sound, and then we're going to chunk a different kind of thing. And then we're going to have, and so they sort of, how can I put it? One of my biggest issues with some albums is they just smash you for 45 minutes or an hour. And I feel like my ear needs some breathing space. And I think this band does it incredibly well when they put together their albums. I think they do it well. I think the ballads are always at the right time. And for me, that's the really thing that I like about this album as well, that I just maybe didn't get that as much in applause. But yeah, I would rate this one as my number 3. I think I have to rate this number 3. I know that's so bad, and everyone's going to hate me for it as well. I always have one thing that everyone else is going to hate me for, but that's it. I'm going to give this a 3, or maybe a tie for 2.5 or something. Yeah.
All right. So then we come to their latest release from last year. I had not heard anything from this prior to, you know, planning this recording, and so it was like a reminder, like, oh, VOLA, that band, you know, I had to check out the latest one. How did they sound again? You know, that was a little bit the state I was in. And then I kind of got like surprised over, oh, how genty is this? I didn't remember that it was so genty. And I also read, I think that this album is not so much of a fan favorite. Like this is the one that that gets the most criticism.
Yeah.
However, I mean, if people keep count here, it's obviously on my like second on my ranking, because I think that it has some um, pretty memorable stuff on it. Like, I mean, I love Glass Javelin. I love Trey. Like how I think those are like great melodies, and I mean that said, I think it's the second track of it. What's that called? It's called Break My Lying Tongue. Yeah, that one has almost like what is this band that goes, "Can you feel my heart?" What the heck is that called?
What?
I don't know.
Wait.
You can look that
up? Bring Me the Horizon. Like
okay.
it has that kind of riff. Like it's not it it's just so noisy, you know, like and like emo-ish, emo metal ish, you know. It's clearly not my type of music, this. However, I think they do it very well, and you also have some stuff that, yeah, indeed, Trey is a lot like Mew sounding. I think Hollow Kid is a lot Catatonia sounding. You know, all in all, it's not my type of music. I do enjoy it though, and like in the end, and that is of course a little bit down to luck maybe of this album, just because of how things turned out. But this is now the album that I spent the most time with. You know, so obviously I put it on number 2. I probably need more listens to Inmazes and witness, and maybe then I will, value those albums more. But I thought this was pretty good. Yeah. But obviously, some stuff where they really, they're really on the border of I'm almost, pushing the skip button, and then they still have something that hooks me, like especially on that second track where it's like, okay, this is not my jam, and then it's like just when I'm about to push it, they do something interesting, So and that happens at several times here, where in the end they still got me, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Marie, come on, hit us up. We know what number you'd give it anyway, but
So
this is number 4. Yeah.
I don't know what. Maybe it's because it's the most recent album, or I need more listens, or I don't know what. But it was the album I had most issues with. So it started out with them releasing the first single, which was Paper Wolf, and it was released a year.
Oh, you accidentally hit the mute button.
I think I might have done that. Oops.
Oh.
I'm like, shut up, Marie. Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
My favorite track.
No, it's not my favorite track, but never mind. So, okay, so they released Paper Wolf.
Yep.
I think it was even a year before the album came out.
Yeah, it was a long time.
A really long time. And I just had this one song and nothing else. And I was like, So of course I overplayed it. And now I really don't want to listen to it again. It's become a bit too saturated for me. I mean, it's a good song, but I also remember when I first heard it, as you said, Josh, production, it's going in a direction where it's getting more modern.
Yeah.
It's super modern sounding. Like
it's almost a bit too much, if I have to be honest. It's totally catering to this. It's catering to this new.
This is why I brought up Sleep Token before. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not comparing these, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of. I don't even, I have no idea about music production, but I can hear that there's something that's. Some people would call it overproduced or something.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bit overproduced for me, but maybe I'm just old-fashioned. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on what your starting point is.
Everything is very loud and everything is very polished.
And I'm also not a big fan of this massive vocal plugins.
Yeah.
That happen. I prefer vocals to sound
natural. Yeah.
More natural. I mean, it's okay for me if they put vocal plugins for certain effects during a short time on a song. That's absolutely not a problem for me.
Yeah. We end up
when it's like
the so-and
we end up. Yeah. But it's maybe a bit much. But now looking back, I've got used to this, so it's not at the top of my head anymore when I listen to this. So this was the first thing, and it was released too early for me, I think. So this took the whole balance of the album. And then I think the second single was Break My Lying Tongue. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
And I remember being very put off by the synth. It's like, oh my God, this is so annoying. And I still, most of the time I skip the song.
I think they stop it just in time,
Yeah, I mean the verse is great. It's like soft and but the chorus is this song only works in a live setting for me. Live, it's great because it's got the audience moving and it's great, but on a studio album, I don't know. I tend to skip it, to be honest. And I know that other people feel like this too. So And the fun fact is that the synth part was actually written by the bassist, if I'm correct.
Yeah, right.
So I think I remember somebody mentioning that. So I hope I'm not getting it wrong. Yeah, but so this what was the third single? Was it "We Will Not Disband"? I can't even remember now.
I think it might have been. Oh no, was it Glass Mannequin?
Was it?
Maybe. I'll have to look that
Is
up.
it Glass Mannequin, not Glass Javelin? Yeah. Okay,
No,
yeah.
No,
you
Glass
said that
Javelin
before.
is
We just let that slide earlier.
Yeah, all right. Well, they rhyme it
I mean,
with
it's
Javelin.
part of the vocals. It's part of the the lyrics. So
Yeah,
that's okay. What was the third single?
The third single was "I Don't Know How He Got Here."
Yeah. Sorry. How did I miss this? Okay,
Also
whatever.
very Mew sounding.
It's easy.
Mew sounding track.
Yeah.
Like same chord progressions and stuff like that. Yeah.
So overall, this album to me is very easy. I mean, it's maybe a bit too straightforward even. I mean, it's a great album. I really like to listen to it, but it kind of lacks the surprise element a bit. So the songs, the way they start is how you already know the way it starts. That's how the song goes.
Yeah, it's a little bit less progressive. It's still layered. It's still got lots of synthy stuff.
Yeah.
It's still got the gent heaviness as well. It's got like a blast you in the face kind of wall of sound at times, and then has some really light, beautiful moments too. But generally speaking,
absolutely.
I think the composition of the tracks is maybe a little bit more simple, especially when you compare it to like Inmazes, which is the other end of their sort of spectrum, which is like, surprise, here's where we're going, and we're not going to repeat what we did earlier. Yeah. I really enjoyed this album. It's got my like Applause and Friend of a Phantom have like I can still hear you, Simon, saying 1 2 1 2. Do you want me to have another go? You there?
1 2 1 2. Fuck. Am I still on here?
You're still on.
Yes.
And you're saying 1 2 1 2 1 2 while I'm talking, you jerk.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's no problem. It's fine. You can keep that in here if you want to as well.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. But no, I was just going to say that Applause of a Distant Crowd and Friend of a Phantom have the most plays for me. I've played these albums over like 200 times, like the tracks. So I'm talking about, what's that? Probably close to 20 plays for both of them. And like I really, really enjoy Friend of a Phantom. I think the interesting thing is that it did take me a while to get into as well. I think a little bit because of what you were saying there, Marie, too. But I don't know, I just enjoy it. I think it's interesting because some of the other criticism that I've heard about this album is that it's not new territory for them. It's kind of the same. They're not being experimental, where each one of the other albums had a change, right? So you had Inmazes, which was their big sort of like get started. Then after that you have this shift towards Applause, and then you've got the big push towards, you know, where your Witness went. And then this one's it's kind of like Witness 2.0, and I think some people think that it's very similar to Witness as well, but they don't actually change very much. As in, like, you could, for example, I've heard people say you could put like quite a few of the tracks from Friend of a Phantom onto Witness and they would fit. And the interesting thing is, I think that they're probably right, but I just really enjoy this album. Like, it's just where it sits for me. I think We Will Not Disband is one of my favorite songs by them. Easy. I love it. I love it, even though it's not super complex. I just absolutely love it. I think I really like the pace increase. I like Break My Lying Tongue and I like Paper Wolf because all of a sudden you've got like a beat. Not that they didn't have beat. They've got great drumming, right? They've got good percussion. But what I mean is they've got some like tempo. And for me, I really enjoy them in that mode as well. And I think that's why I would rate this over the other albums that I've rated lower than it, is because it's got some tempo changes. And for me, that even if it's not like within a single track and they're not as diverse, I just love the fact that this one's like, yeehaw, we can do this too. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit more emo. It's a little bit more heavily produced. It's a little bit more simple in some respects too, but there's just some joy in this track, this album that I just really, really like. And that's why I'd rate it high. I've also played Paper Wolf way too much, Marie. I was exactly, I think, the same as you too. So that's the track that I skipped now. However, I just had a look on Last FM to have a look, and I've played that track alone over 100 times. But that's only because I put it on other playlists, and it's playlists with bands like Dead Letter Circus, and it's bands that have like a higher tempo, stuff where I want to like pump a room up or insert energy into it, if you know what I mean. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've played it so much, is because it fits into just that aspect of my music listening. So I don't know. So this one I put in at number 2, but it's probably about as good as Witness, I think. It's just, I just enjoy this a little bit more. Glass Mannequin is a little bit repetitious with the lines and the rhyming again, but I'm okay with that. And the album definitely needed that from a construction point of view. They did similar things to what they did with Witness. They've kind of got energy and then they let it disperse, and then they bring energy and then they let it disperse, which I quite like. Anyway, there's my rant.
All right. So, well, to sum it up then, I at least put Distant Crowd at the first place, A Friend of a Phantom is second, Inmazes third, and Witness fourth. Marie, what was your...
We haven't done the
Listen,
favorite songs part.
Oh, you did do the favorite song. I'm sorry.
Favorite songs, come on, hit us up. What's your favorite songs of this one?
Okay, I think my favorite song is Bleed Out.
Yeah.
It's probably the most modern song, but it's still my favorite song on the album. I can't even tell you why. It's such a great track. Then We Will Not Disband is another one, and Cannibal, the one they did with Anders from In Flames.
Yeah,
that one is pretty cool.
That's
awesome
pretty
poem.
awesome. Yeah. And something else I would like to say about Friend of a Phantom is that because I think the album number 4 is a difficult thing to be, because you have one album and then the other one being the total opposite, and then the third kind of merging these two, and then the fourth, where is it going to go? You can't completely invent something completely new.
And I think they've doubled down on what they did well on the third.
Yeah.
I think that's what it seems like to me. Like they've doubled down on that a little bit. So I kind of feel what you mean. Yeah.
So I think it's not a very good position to be in as an album number 4. But yeah, it's my number 4. So I have Witness as number 1, Inmazes as number 2, Applause number 3, and Friend of a Phantom at number 4. That would be my ranking if I had to rank them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And then I've got mine as Applause. Then I think this one, then Witness, then Inmazes at the end. And I'm 90% sure that in a year from now, I will think Inmazes is better than all of them. But at present, just in terms of which one I'm going to be more inclined to play, that's what I made my decisions on. And I would happily put Applause on. I would then happily put Friend of a Phantom on, and then I would be more selective about, the Inmazes comparatively. So, yeah, that's interesting. So we have some different opinions, and Simon and I are closer than we normally would be.
But that said, I mean, when we did the Riverside ranking, we both had Second Life Syndrome as the first one. When we did the Soul one, we both had Lotus as first.
But I think we flip a fair bit in between.
And Leprous, we also had Pitfalls as number 1, right?
Did you? Yeah, okay. Well, I take it all back. We always agree on the first one, and then it's the other.
Apparently, yeah. And the rest is down.
For anyone watching at home, we don't script these. They're pretty improv-y. I think Marie's on the inside going, oh my God, I thought we were going to practice more or we're going to do something, but we did none. We're just like, play, let's go.
We're just cowboys.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
complete cowboys.
So,
But in saying that, that means that these are, I don't know what Simon's number one is. I didn't know what Marie's was going to be, although I had an idea. I think it's fun. To me, that's fun. The episode's fun for me because I get a chance to discover it too. So, yeah. Anyway.
so do you have any wishes for the next VOLA album, where it's gonna go? What do you want to come back, if at all, anything?
I actually think I'd probably like them to return to a bit more of a progressive roots. I really do enjoy song structure that changes a little bit, that has a bit more of a journey involved. But in saying that, the thing I love about VOLA and the thing that's the standout thing I love about them is their hooky choruses and how accessible some of that stuff is. So I don't feel like I have to work too hard at that aspect of their music. And I love the synth layering. So I want lots of synth layering. Go heavy, I don't care, that's great. I think they've really sort of fine-tuned their djenty sounds. Although some people disagree, I do think that's the case. And
I mean, they use less complex rhythms and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I'd like to see some more,
like odd time meters and stuff like that. It's not.
I'd
so
like to
present
see
on this
more of
stuff.
that. Like, I'd love to see more of that. I think so, provided I'm getting synth layering, some djenty vibes, and a hooky chorus to go back to the original stuff, because I reckon they could redo something a bit like Inmazes, but just do it like they do their more recent things. And for me, that's where I'd want to see them go. It's interesting. And I get a chance to see them, I think in February or January, they're coming to Sydney. So this will be the first time I see them live. So I'm excited about that. So that'll give me a chance to really get a bit more of an ear for them and what they do.
Obviously, it's not my band, and it is because it's so djenty. So I mean, to me, what I love about them is indeed the ballad stuff, and at the same time, I think indeed that the latest one is overproduced. So like, to me, they could just release an all ballad album, and I would be fucking hooked. You know, obviously, I'm in a minority of their listeners here, but you know, if they would want to speak to this part of their audience, they could do that. Marie, what do you want to see for the last one or the coming one?
If you want the more mellow part of VOLA, I will send you some recommendations to listen to, because they have a very nice habit of doing their own cover versions. I don't know if you're familiar with the October sessions, where they completely revamped the song Gutter Moon. It's on Inmazes, but they did an acoustic version of it, and it sounds like nothing. It doesn't really compare to the original. Yeah. And also live, they like to do this. They surprise you with an acoustic or a stripped down version.
For the tickets in Sydney, if you buy the exclusive ones, they're going to do 3 or 4 acoustic numbers for the VIPs. So I thought, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. So they I remember on the last tour, I think it was the one before the Witness tour. I can't even tell you which tour it was on. Anyway, they did a stripped down version of Enter, which is on the Monsters EP. Live. So this was really great. And thinking about what I want to come back, or what I want on the next album, if I had anything to say about this, I want the guitar solos back, like on Ruby Pool or Inmazes or the song Enter. They asked us this lovely guitar solos in this awesome guitar tone. And to me, there could be more of this. I really like this guitar solos of his. Yeah. And as you said, Josh, the surprise elements, I want more of that. I want more. I want more moments where I'm like, what the fuck has just happened? This is, I kind of missed that on the last album. I'm like,
That is maybe in
where it
general.
leaves you speechless. Yeah.
I think that's in general like a issue I have with a lot of modern metal bands, that like the songs are shorter. There's not so many guitar solos. Like I love long songs with long instrumental parts and lots of, doesn't even have to be guitar solos. It could be solos of another kind where, someone can, space out a little bit, or, just explore, go freehand a little bit. Everything doesn't have to be strictly organized as a group, I enjoy that stuff, and indeed would be like, I can miss that with Lepers as well. Like, why, come on, throw in a guitar solo here, yeah. Oh, cool. Do we have a do we have anything else?
I think that was most of it. I think it's I think, well, for me anyway, that's all of the stuff that I prepared for. I was very interested in this episode, so that's really cool. I'm glad that I got it done as well. So I'm really glad that it's like, yep, VOLA, check. I know them, good. And now I'm really keen and excited to continue. If people out there really enjoy VOLA, have you got any other bands you might recommend, Simon or Marie, that sort of maybe sounds a bit like it?
I'm not sure if anybody sounds like VOLA, but I know a few VOLA fans who also enjoy these bands I'm going to tell you about, but they're not really sound-alikes. But for instance, I would suggest, I'm only going to suggest smaller bands because there's no point in me telling you about, I don't know, Lepers or Haken or whatever, So to me, Temic comes to mind.
Yep.
So they're definitely worth checking out. They've only got one album so far.
Yeah.
So all the bands I'm going to recommend are always very synth heavy. So because that's what that's what I like. I like this crossover with synths and heavy riffs and great choruses and good vocals.
Yeah.
So Temic would fit that description. Yeah, and the contrast between soft and heavy, and lots of things happening in the music. So Temic would come to mind. Then I don't know if you've heard of them, but Cold Nights for Alligators has just dropped a new single. That might be worth checking out if you haven't heard of them.
I'll definitely.
And of course,
that band name wasn't taken before.
Cold Nights for Alligators. It's a great band name. I think they're a Swedish band. I'm not sure. I think so. Anyway, and of course, last but not least, this album just dropped.
I've been listening to it.
With Legacy. So if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's very also very synthy, dystopian feel to it sometimes. Lots of melody, lots of cool things happening. So definitely worth checking out. That's my recommendation as a VOLA fan to other VOLA fans.
Yeah, I think the obvious one that I mentioned a couple of times here would be Mew, because they have like this very same kind of melodies, but they are not metal at all, so it's a completely different soundscape. They have my I prefer them, but it's very different. I mean, they speak to very different moods, so to speak. But I think that they're on completely, like, these bands sound more like have more of the same sound as VOLA, whereas this have more of the same melodies, but it's a completely different beast.
Yeah, cool. I think Temic's a great recommendation. I think Ilo's a good recommendation as well. They're probably like fantastic. I'd also look. it's a little bit different, but maybe even Vulcan with like Technatura or something might be something that people would be into. It's probably a bit more sort of, look, I just think it's a killer album, and maybe, yeah, I think if somebody likes VOLA and maybe likes maybe a bit more of a traditional sound, then maybe that'd be something that they'd be after as well. I'm gonna have to give it some thought. Or maybe even like Mother of Millions. That's got some great contrast with a great singer as well. It's got some heaviness to it too. Yeah, maybe Mother of Millions. I'd lock in Mother of Millions as my one. So I'll have to talk about them more in the future.
Great choice. Great
Yeah.
choice. And also for people thinking that I'm a downer here, it's always a little bit when you have to, check some music out before an episode. It's like, well, it's best when it comes naturally, So,
Yeah.
I probably will have a moment in time where I really feel like listening to it, and it really clicks on a different level. It's just how things go,
Dude, we did ELP, and I was very much like that with ELP, right? So,
And that's the thing. They have like 10 albums, so this is okay. 4 albums I can sit through, even though the quality will not be.
Yeah.
But listening, forcing yourself of 8 hours of music or whatever it came down to in the end, that's just not going to be a pleasant time.
Look, I definitely did more than 8 hours in preparation for this one, that's for sure. But like, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but maybe.
So how's about we call
more
it there?
than-
For those
Yeah.
people who have joined us, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Marie, for coming along. It's a blast. I really love the fact that we get a chance to discuss music online. I know you and I chat pretty regularly on Instagram. So if anyone out there's on Instagram as well, you can find me at The Prog Wanderer. You can find Simon at Simon's Album Reviews. And I'm sure you'd be able to find Marie if she wants that. If she doesn't, yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, there you go. But you're Angel on the Sideline, is that correct? Yep, Angel on the Sideline. But yeah, so look, thank you so much. We'd love it if you've stuck around this long to like, subscribe, do all of those things, help us with the algorithm a little bit. But otherwise, I guess, yeah, that's kind of us for this week, right?
Awesome. All right, man.
Awesome. It was nice chatting to you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
it
so
was
much
nice
for
having you
joining
on.
us. Yeah,
Yes.
no, it was great. All right, well, we'll say goodbye to everybody. Peace out. See ya.
Pieces.
Bye.
All right.